Imagine something that becomes so valuable that many people have to share it, all at the same time. Unfortunately, that happened during the Second World War. Because there was so much fighting, it was hard to get access to food. Food was rationed. Each person could have only a fixed amount. Britain, for example, was in a bad situation. Relentless bombing also destroyed farmland and food and storage. They were close to famine. That's when the Farmerettes stepped in. More than 40,000 young women in Canada volunteered to farm the land and help their British allies. It was hard work.
These are baskets. These are 6-quart baskets. The girls would get a bunch of baskets for cherries and put the harness on that sat about here on them.
Both hands picking.
Both hands picking.
People were given ration cards which said how much food they were allowed to buy each week. Food rations included sugar, coffee, butter, milk, meat, and jellies, things that we often take for granted today. Many people grew their own vegetables in victory gardens so that they would have enough to eat. And even though the Farmerettes worked on farms, they were still subject to food rationing, just like everybody else. As war progressed, more soldiers were needed to fight, and they needed more food, so farmerette work became even harder. But even with many hardships, the Farmerettes were successful. They really did their part to make sure as many people as possible had access to food.
This barn, just prior to the Farmerettes moving in here, had been one of the finest horse stables in all the Niagara Peninsula. I didn't know that.
Probably in Canada.
It was apparently gorgeous.
So I was just 15. I wanted to go too. So my mother changed my birth certificate from 1931 to 1930, just a little stroke of a pen.
Today, many of us expect that food is just going to be available in the grocery store. But before that happens, there is a whole process of preparing the land, buying and planting the seeds, and caring for the growing plants before the fields can be harvested. There are many tasks that need to occur before food is harvested and transported to the factories or grocery stores. It's a dedicated chain of events. Over time, our farm technology has evolved and our food yield has increased. However, plant diseases such as mold and viruses can erase whole crops in a very short time, threatening the food supply. Plus, there are now billions of people on the planet, a lot of mouths to feed. That's why we need to make sure that everyone has food security. Grains are part of a delicate food ecosystem and are one of the most important foods for feeding people around the world. Farmers in Ontario and other places have the huge responsibility of growing lots of grain. Farmers are doing their part to maintain a healthy, affordable food system while working hard to protect our natural resources. Learning about Farmerettes and how they helped win the Second World War by feeding millions at a very difficult time teaches us to cherish those young women who volunteered. When we talk about food insecurity and try to find solutions, we need to remember food starts on the farm. This was where the Farmerette story really began. It was the pioneer camp. 1st Brigade was here.
They stayed in a tent from the 1st of May until the middle of September at this farm. It's cold here in May. It was hard work.
We had to be strong, and we were, mentally and physically.
Farmers use technology, science, experience, and generations of knowledge to be the center of food production, whether we are talking about the world or in our own communities. So let's remember what the Farmerettes did and what they taught us. Service comes in many forms.